All right. So it's been I have no idea. Been some amount of time since I streamed, but I'm excited to play tonight. Tonight we are taking a break from our general modern pioneer stance when we play Magic, and we're gonna dive a little bit into standard tonight. There's actually a tournament coming up next month. In our local shop, there's a team tournament coming up. And in interest of preparing for that, I will be the person playing standard. So I'm going to start prepping a little bit and trying a couple of different things to see what I like better and where I should be at. Naturally, my first inclination is to run towards mono red. It's what I generally play in standard, and it's what I play with. So I really like it. I've played a couple games with this deck so far, just over the last like week or so, just trying to get a feel for it. And the deck feels pretty good. It feels pretty cool. I mean, it feels like your typical mono red like annex deck. So I'm excited to jump in, start playing games. Plus, I'm excited I get to play Arena more. I actually really enjoy playing Arena. Get wrecked. What's up, Joseph? I actually really enjoy playing Arena as opposed to like playing Moto. You know, like when you play Moto, like it comes at a cost to play. Man, I'm lagging a lot right now. What's going on? Oh, all right. Well, Arena just dropped dead. That's interesting. I don't know that Arena's ever just like lagged out on me like that. Been struggling since I opened it, so we'll see what happens. Now it's stuck on the. It's actually going to put me in a game. Yes, I will keep my 7. Sand feels pretty solid. Apparently our opponent's going to mulligan. We have a 1-drop, a removal spell on 2. Our opponent's on 5, so it bodes well for us. Really like Faceless Haven. I think that's the reason that a lot of these mono red decks are playing 24 lands. I considered cutting 1 or 2 of those, but I don't know. I'm going to try it with 24 lands a couple times to see how I like it. This is blue-red something. I haven't played anything, so I'm going to give them the opportunity to stomp my Robber of the Ridge here, which is more than likely what they're going to do. Oh, Petty Theft? That's even better. If your only plays Petty Theft, like, sure, like, it basically, like, time walks us, but it also, like, doesn't really change anything for us. I need to test Faithless Looting. Test Faithless Haven. Oh, Faithless Haven and Mono Black. It doesn't seem like a bad idea. Like, honestly, like, I've never tried it in Pioneer, but I know that's what people play in Historic, so yeah, try it, man. Sounds cool. Another Brazen Borrower, okay. We're still getting to punch in for 2 here. Like half the people now do it, but Snowlands suck? Why do Snowlands suck? Oh, you prefer other arts. I agree with that statement, honestly. So we're just gonna put Robber of the Rich down and just start doing that. We're gonna hold up Stomp or Frostbite here in case we need it. I agree, unstable lands are strictly better than Snowlands. Surprised that people are playing Faceless Haven and Pioneer over Mutavault. Mutavault just seems better. Is there something I'm missing? I have $100 of swamps in this deck. I want to use them. I get that. Sadly, I really do. They're playing 4 vaults and 3 havens. Oh, wow. Are they still playing only like 1 Urborg or something? Or are they playing 2? Like 4 Mutavaults and 3 havens seems extremely aggressive. We're going to go ahead and stomp this. We don't have to do that now, but we're going to. Just to... I don't want them to have any kind of way to turn anything on. Oh, this is Teamer. Well. Ends up being a pretty sweet turn. I haven't checked a lot. I'm guessing you can't do my patented greedy double black spells all the time doing it. Yeah, you're probably right about that. I don't really know what our opponent could have here that could get them out of this. Like, we have a lot of good backup here. Like, we just have lethal on the board. We don't even have to add anything, so they physically have to have something. Okay. Well, it's Teamer, which I'm not really sure what that means. It means we probably want a Crow in War, and it means we probably want Phoenix of Ash and Roiling Vortex, if I had to guess. Fireblade Charger doesn't seem great. We'll even some number of Frostbite. Got a couple Rimrock Knight. Feels like probably the worst card. And you know, it's possible that maybe we should cut some number of Embercleave, that it could be bad. Like, not bad necessarily, but could be less than optimal, especially on the draw. So maybe that was a mistake on my part. This is most of the reason that I'm wanting to play Standard and test this a little bit before our tournament next month, is that I want to have a better idea on A, how to sideboard, and B, what the metagame looks like. It's also okay to keep two landers like this with a hand that curves all the way up to 4 in a 24 land deck. So you won't always get there, but it just does generally help. What's your opinion on Rest in Peace right now in Modern Burn? It just didn't feel good today. What did you play against that you wanted to bring it in for? I feel like Rest in Peace. I don't know. I've always kind of hated and loved Rest in Peace in um, in Modern, because in the games that it's good, it's phenomenal, but in the games that it's bad, it's trash. Like, I don't really have a better way to describe that, honestly. He has something here. I don't know if it's Stomp or if it's Petty Theft, but I'm more willing to let us go to damage here and not play my Rimrock Knight, as opposed to playing the Rimrock Knight, losing a Hall Monitor and a Rimrock Knight. I used it against Dredge, the Troll deck, the Asmo deck. I'm not sure how to differentiate them by name, but both variations. Okay. And you didn't really like it against any of those today? That's interesting. It's possible that in decks like that, we just want surgicals. Like, against, like, if that's the metagame, that we would rather just have surgical, or that we'd rather have Tormod's Crypt. Um, I mean, yeah, obviously it is good against Dredge. Like, back-to-back plays of Frostbite into Stomp this thing. It's a 2-for-1, but like, I turned 2 Rip and he gained life with the new Cathartic, so it was a win-lose. Okay, I mean, fair enough. Like, turn 2 Rest in Peace against, like, Dredge is just really good in my opinion. So I'm going to attack, and if they offer the block here, I'm going to pump with Rimrock Knight. I mean, it's very possible that in Burn, like, those could be served better. I feel like Surgical or Crypt could be better because of mana efficiency right now. I mean, and you know, honestly, that's very, very possible. Like, I've always liked, in certain metagames, I really like the concept of playing Surgical actually in the sideboard of Burn over Rest in Peace, because you don't have to take a turn off to pay 2 mana. Like, you have to think about it. Rest in Peace is like you have to tap out to play it whenever you play it, so it's like really bad. But Surgical, while you do lose a card in your hand, does allow you to play around that. Like, I had no choice between it and Skullcrack. Yeah, see, exactly. And if you have Surgical or Tormod's Crypt in that kind of spot, you have that choice. So yeah, that's tough. I actually really understand that. So if he plays his Bone Crusher Giant here, he's not going to. Because if he put okay, he is. So we're gonna attack because we can play our Embercleave here and just kind of like run over his Bone Crusher Giant, and then we still have a Crowan War and the Crowan War and Rimrock Knight. So this feels pretty solid. Like, so going back to your point here, like imagine if Rest in Peace was Surgical. You have Surgical. Interesting. Hopefully there's no counterspell here. You have Surgical and Skullcrack on turn 2? Like, that's insane. Like, that's really good. Yeah, like, I can Skullcrack the life gain and still help Surgical for amalgams or such? Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that's the way to go with that. Okay, each creature I have attacks you next turn. Deal. Seven mana here. He could play Beanstalk Giant. The fact that he didn't play anything is moderately concerning. We're just gonna leave the mountain in our hand. Now, this is one of the problems with playing 24 lands, is that we can't really be upset about drawing a 7th land. Because it's just the way it works out. Okay, so he goes to 5. We're gonna equip this because why not? Okay. Okay, I mean that's fine. Like, you doing that's not really a big deal. Why don't you do that? Why don't we okay, cool, we win. You can put Burn together with Surgicals, and I can have Dredge and Crabvine, and we can just kind of like play it and see what happens. Just kind of like test that matchup post board a bunch of times. Well, that makes us 1-0. With the old mono red aggro deck in standard. Which feels, I mean, we kind of got handed a softball, and then our opponent didn't really have much to do, honestly. Like, I don't know if this is the deck, if this is the Teamer Adventures deck that's still on Saw It Coming and stuff like that, but we didn't see anything like that. I'm playing Surgical tomorrow night, so we'll see. Okay, cool. Are you playing Burn tomorrow night? Because I honestly have no idea what to play tomorrow. If I thought I could stomach it, I thought about asking you if I could borrow Tron again, but I don't think I can. Assuming I put it together, yes. I feel that at all times. I feel that. I really do. This guy's name is Schmitty. Please tell me that this is Smitty. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand it's not spelled the same way, but I really hope this is. So we're still gonna punch in here. This way we get an effective use out of all of our cards, as opposed to just adding a Rimrock Knight to the board. we get use out of the front half of that too. Alright, we're going to dump the Phoenix of Ash here. This could be rogues, but I can't remember if rogues plays Luris in standard or not. I told Kyle that he could use a deck tomorrow, so you'll have to bring a few extra decks if you want something. Okay, lol, fair enough. Alright, killing the Phoenix is fine. Like, it's not great because we want our Phoenix, but it is okay because it does have escape later in the game. Is this like a blue-black control or something? I don't know what's going on here. Cast Rimrock Knight. Cast Fireblade Charger, and now we have our Frostbite if we need it for something. Okay, if Kyle's going to use something, then I'll put something together tomorrow. I'll probably just end up playing Dredge, honestly. I don't know what deck I'm playing against, but it does not feel like a Crowan War. The Crowan War is going to be good here. The other good news is that Hall Monitor here, the Hall Monitor here, can also just like help us push through damage if they do decide to like use their Crawling Barons to block. Okay. That's not great. I didn't realize there was a sack effect, like an edict effect. Soul Shatter, okay. Hopefully this turns out to be something that we can Frostbite. Yep, perfect. Like a glove. Our opponent takes 6, goes to 8 here. We also now have enough to escape our Phoenix of Ash. Okay. Okay, so there's two trains of thought here. We can either put our Phoenix of Ash back into play, or we can get our Faceless Haven out. But if we do that, it allows us to Faceless Haven and Phoenix, and pump the Phoenix next turn if we draw a land. I mean, that's the reason we're playing the card. Knowing that there's no Fatal Push in this format is also really solid because we just knew we could get in right there. So I have access to 3 mana here. Ching, ching, ching. And if it's Heartless Act, no. Okay. So the cool part is that a land next turn allows us to be able to activate both of our Faithless Havens. When the 12th is put on, shuffle your hand engraved, then draw 7 cards, okay? Okay, cool. They just didn't have anything. So, blue-black control, Ox, Phoenix. Embercleave does not seem great. Some number of Frostbite. Actually, Rumrock Knight doesn't feel very good. And that way we can have some number of Frostbite in to try and kill their stuff. The Akroan War doesn't seem very good. Yeah, let's try it like this and see what happens. Because Rimrock Knight's still just a creature we can just play. It doesn't have to be used on the front half. Now, it's generally not very good against Brazen Borrow or counter spells, like instant speed removal kind of decks, but this hand's great. We're going to keep this. Our opponent led on Field of Ruins, so that's interesting. Truly have no idea what that means. Basic Snowland, okay. Maze Mind Tome. This allows us to crash in with our Rolling Vortex. Or not with our Vortex, our Robber of the Rich. It's guaranteed we get 2 points in. And then next turn, if we need to, we can play Hall Monitor, hold up its ability, and then if they do nothing, we can Rolling Vortex. So that's good. Plus, we'll want to get Vortex down next turn so that we can start guaranteeing no life gain. We're not going to hold up Hall Monitor's ability here because we don't need to. Yep, I was like, because they're going to have a removal spell of some kind. Vortex. And then next turn we have Torbran or we have Bonecrusher Giant. More than likely Bonecrusher Giant hold up Vortex. Scry's one at the bottom. Scry's during their upkeep. Scry's one at the top, okay. So they went bottom top. Island, okay. Okay. They make it 2-2. We're going to stomp this. And now we're going to hold up Vortex. Not that we have any other plays now that that's the play we made, but still. We can activate twice here in case they go for like something crazy. And we're just never going to tap out. We're just never going to give them the 4 free life off of the Maze Mind Tome. Ashiok's pretty good.
Come, all your fears are given form.
Exile the top 2 cards. What was that? Double Rimrock Knight, okay. That is less than ideal. So they go to 7. Vortex is going to put them to 4. No, that's sad. Okay, Vortex is only going to put them to 6, which is fine. I don't know what this... From face-up cards your opponents own from exile without paying their mana costs. Okay. It's pretty solid.
Terror lurks among us.
We go to 17. We can kind of just play this, like, wait and go game here because Vortex will eventually get us there. Given enough time, Vortex will win us the game. And they basically get to decide, would they rather draw a card, because they've probably realized at this point that I'm not going to tap out for my Vortex here. That's even better. That puts them to 4. Monitor, or the Vortex puts them to 3, which is great. And if he ultimates, he's going to take 5 off of this. Vortex basically does nothing for the ultimate here. Because if I draw a land, I get to play Torbran and Vortex. You have to wait till my turn to do it. So we're going to cast it now, and imagine they're going to go for it. Yep. Math checks out. It's free for life, you might as well. Really? You're scrying instead of drawing a card? It just seems like a poor use of mana. Hopefully our Torbran resolves here. And then no attacks. If they don't have a removal spell or something to play here, this will put them to 4. Okay. Sure. Gonna bounce this back to my hand, make me exile it. Forgot that was a card. Lockmere Serpent. Played that card for a while when it came out. Feels like our opponent's playing a lot of non-basics to be playing that card, but okay. Gonna attack me for 9, put me to 8. So if they attack with both, they are dead. And they attack with neither. Now that is interesting. So attacking here virtually does nothing. We might be losing this game. Okay. Mountain and a Phoenix, that's less than ideal. No blocks, I'll take 2. Oh boy. That's rough. Why didn't he attack with the Serpent? I don't understand why he didn't attack with the Serpent there. That's weird. Maybe he's trying to keep my Faceless Haven at bay. I don't know, that one feels pretty weird to me. So I still don't think we want the Akroan War. Dragonfire seems medium, melee seems poor, Frostbite also seems poor. Feels like we have it set up the best way possible. I think all the cards in our deck are better than 2 Embercleaves because they do play a lot of removal spells, and a lot of their deck is played at instant speed, so... Hmm. Hey, what's up, man? And or she. How are you, buddy? Yeah, we'll keep this. Lead on Fervent Champion. Our opponent takes a mulligan. Doing good? That's good. I'm glad to hear it, man. I'm okay with keeping a 2-lander like this, even when we have a 4-drop in our hand. And I go back to my point from earlier. We have 24 lands in our deck. Even if I don't necessarily agree with the idea behind having 24 lands in the deck, it still feels really solid. Hopefully we get into a spot where Rimrock Knight and Fervent Champion's First Strike actually come up being relevant. Go ahead and snag a card from Robber of the Rich. It'll land, which is... We like to hit something to play, but hitting a land is fine. I mean, please play your removal spell now. Just works out better for me. So if he's not going to let me have a card off Robber, he's forced to play his removal spell now, which is fine, because that allows us to pump with the Rimrock Knight and then play our Rimrock Knight after combat. New to Arena, made the mistake of spinning my wild cards on a... Oh, don't end the turn, play that. On a standard Aura deck only to find I prefer Historic Gobos. Yeah, dude, I have to say that's one thing, like, you know, like I honestly, I'm one of those people, like, when it comes to Magic, I'm just happy to play. I don't complain about a lot, but when it comes to playing Arena, I really hate the way that the wild card system works. Like, if you've ever played, like, Moto, yeah, like MTGO, you can just... That's a pretty good card right there. You can just actually, like, buy the cards that you want. And so it's a little frustrating that you have to, like, open packs and buy wild cards and you can't just spend money on the cards that you want. So yeah, I understand your frustration. It can be a little upsetting at times for sure. And our opponent concedes. Alright, cool. Well, let's correct this to 2-0. We received a pack. We're about to get another wild card. Let's see here. Something I don't know. We're just gonna go ahead and buy a pack with our 1,000 coins. I don't ever really draft on here, so I get packs with my coins whenever I can to try and pump up my cards. Alright, another card I'll never use. Well, we're 2-0 with mono red so far, so feels like a pretty decent start to our night here. Steph Magic 93. Yep, we'll play first. This feels like a mulligan. We keep this, put the Aggro War back. It's a little frustrating to get the polar opposite end of 4 lands to 1 land. I'm okay with keeping this hand because we played 24 lands, and I think there's a decent chance we draw another one. Al Saeed. So we're playing mono white aggro. We're gonna go ahead and use our frostbite here. Would have liked to have hit a land there. Season Hollow Blade, okay. We're just gonna go ahead and run out our Rimrock Knight here. And just kind of hope that we go land. That are like land cleave. And when I say land, I do mean mountain. Debating if it's worth it to have them pitch a card so they discard a card and we lose our Fervent Champion, but I think the board presence is better. I'm actually really curious to see how this matchup goes. Can they get our Fervent Champion? Okay. I mean, actually makes sense, but yep. We go to 17. I've only ever played this side of this matchup from the mono white side. I've never actually played this matchup from the mono red side, so I'm actually curious to see how this goes. Also curious to see if they block here. Okay, so we get a 1-1 out of the deal, and then we're going to play our Fervent Champion here. Selfless Savior is pretty good. Makes it to where they no longer have to put the have to discard a card to the Luminarch or to the Season Hollow Blade. So, and we're not gonna block because it's not worth their Selfless Savior. Send in. If they're willing to trade their Selfless Savior for a Fervent Champion, I guess I'm okay with that. Doesn't seem great for us, but. And I'm gonna put the token here in front of the Seasoned Hollow Blade. I could see Legion Angel being a problem for us here. I'll say you okay. Okay. Interesting he didn't attack with a dog. I would have. He probably feels that holding on to his cards are necessary here, maybe. Well. We're trying to keep the tempo up here so that we can play aggressive, but we're finding it difficult. Drawing a land would have been fine. Now, Giant Killer here. Actually, yeah, Giant Killers. Yeah, okay. Scoop him up here because we're not getting in for anything. We needed to be aggressive there. Okay, Frostbite, Scorching Dragonfire, the Akroan War, Phoenix of Ash. Rimrock Knight seems bad. Fireblade Charger seems okay because it can trade with things. I don't think we want to cut. We can cut a cleave. Hall Monitor helps push through in times you can't block, but you don't really play the game that way. Yeah, we want as many cleaves as possible. Oh, man. Mm. This hand feels really. This hand's actually really good. I just considered the ramifications of having Frostbite into double Bone Crusher Giant. Play Robber the Rich, run it out here. We'll steal a card of theirs. That's a really good one to steal. Okay. So we're going to attack. If he blocks, we're going to stomp this. If he takes 2, we're just going to run out of Bone Crusher Giant. Drannith Magistrate is actually really annoying in this matchup. Hadn't really considered that. We're going to attack. See if he blocks. Alright. I mean, we're just going to keep playing our spells. Probably we should have played our land first to get an extra card. That was just me not thinking. That was just laziness. Like, honestly, that's a lot of the stuff that I want to work out between now and then. So they have 2 of those in their hand. That's extremely surprising. We get a plains that time. Yep, we're gonna crack in here. Skyclave Apparition on the robber. Sure. So no attacks. So we're going to attack with the Drannith Magistrate. We're going to leave up Hall Monitor's ability to hop in front of the Faceless Haven. Or to make it to where it can't block. Sure. So he takes 4, goes to 4. Play out our mountain. No reason not to. Hall Monitor is actually pretty good. I actually kind of like this card, honestly. Man. Oh, I can't equip it. There's no reason to attack. We're just throwing away our Hall Monitor, which is actually going to be pretty good. So this is pretty solid. Pretty good draws for us. Draneth Magistrate can't block. We're going to swing in. Because even if they fire up a Faceless Haven and block there, we still get to first strike kill it. Trample over for 3, put them to 1. Feels pretty good for us. Well, that was a pretty annoying draw. Okay. So the Faceless Haven can't block here. So we get a token out of this. What? Oh, it's whenever a non-token creature you control dies. Now, they don't have a good draw step here. Well, they're not dead, are they? God! You drawn all 4 glass caskets in the top 20 cards of your deck? Yeah, good job, kid. Like, that's insane. There's nothing to do about that one. So doing this has no value. We're going to wait and make them attack us. They're forced to attack us here, and as long as they don't draw like a Skyclave Apparition or something, we're in a really good spot. Because Frostbite allows us to kill the Faceless Haven. Yep. We take 3. Alright, this is perfect. Finally. Alright, we got out of that. Because they re-equipped, it actually worked out for us. I guess it was going to work out either way, but... Okay, so that was closer than we wanted it to be, but Hall Monitor was a house. Fervent Champion, Fireblade Charger, like, all these cards seem good. We have 7 cards that deal 3 damage in our deck. Like, being able to kill Draneth Magistrate is pretty likely, I feel like. Like, there's a pretty good chance we're able to kill that thing, but it just didn't work out that game. I mean, we ended up winning, but we had to take some really awkward lines because of the Magistrate that game. Now, this is the bad part, that we have to go in the draw for game 3. Yeah, we'll try this. Maybe we shouldn't, but we're going to. No attacks. Lord. So we're going to kill this, and then we have Dragonfire if we need it. We're going to attack because we're not blocking the Alsaid. Redain, okay. Okay. Dragonfire that. Hate to lose a removal spell. Not that me playing the land before that mattered, but I did forget about that. So they're just getting aggressive here. Okay. Alright. Oh, let's get aggressive then. Land is good. Now we get to play Torbran, and that allows us to block both creatures profitably. Now we are at 10 already, so we do have to play defense now, but unless he just has like a Skyclave Apparition. Skyclave Apparition is the only card in his deck that actually removes my Torbran. He's only down to 2 cards, so there's a pretty decent chance we can just stabilize here. What? Like you're turning it on and it's just turning off? Well, that's not good. So NX is really good. Wait, is that the new Xbox we bought or the old, or the original one? Hmm. So they're continuing to pass here, which is fine. We're mounting quite a board here. Drawing Embercleave would be like lights out. Like if we shove here, we're either deciding that shoving with everything or nothing is the best way, like in my opinion. Like that's just what it feels like so far. Embercleave. So we're just going to attack with all of our Robber of the Rich here and see what they do. We don't actually get any card value off of this, but I think it's good for us to start pushing the game, like start pushing towards the win here. You and Joseph playing games? Not talk to him? Okay, that was less than ideal, but that's okay. Sure. Okay. Giant Killer's a pretty good one. Giant Killer does just allow our opponent to just tap creatures when he wants to. Obviously, he wants to fire up the Faceless Haven here. Okay. Well, we're going to force him to make the... to actually make the trade. I was like, he's basically deciding whether Selfless Savior or an Al Said is worth my Fervent Champion. We're going to serve with the tokens for sure, and I think a Robber of the Rich. No, we're going to serve with 2 Robber of the Riches because having 4 blockers back, including my Faceless Haven, is really good. So they're going to do that and sacrifice the Selfless Savior. Okay. Sure. They go to 24 off life gain, then they take... Yeah, okay. Play the Mountain. Now we have Faceless Haven on defense. Oh no, he actually just let it die? Interesting. Figured he would have sacrificed the Selfless Savior. He's deciding if he wants to tap something down or not. Our opponent could have a Giant Killer here. Now that is possible. Giant Killer is their... Gains twice X life. Okay. I mean, and if that's how you... And now he's going to sacrifice a Selfless Savior to protect his Giant Killer. Which is fine. I'm okay with eating that. Four, 8, 12, 15, 18. Our opponent goes to 6 here. It has indestructible. You can block whatever you want. I don't really understand what your 4, 8, 12, 15, 18. 4, 8, 12, 18, 21. Okay. So we're actually just going to wait and hold up the Faceless Haven here because Faceless Haven actually allows us to play around Glass Casket or Skyclave Apparition and allows us to have a better blocker. So if they drew Skyclave Apparition here or Glass Casket, they can actually get our Bone Crusher Giant and attack. Now it's not like they could kill us either way, but I think it's technically better. We have a huge board presence and we're playing around cards that they could have that could in some way swing the game. Well, we are 3-0 with mono red. Decks felt pretty good tonight. I still don't know about the 24 lands, but we're 3-0. It's hard to argue with that. What you playing? Sniping? Oh, you're using one of your tokens? We're going to lead on Fireblade Charger here. Interestingly, there's only one copy of that card in deck. So I think it's actually just worth running out the Rimrock Knight here, just to... because it feels like our opponent's playing some kind of control deck. Might be Sultai Ultimatum, I guess. Maybe not. Run out the other Rimrock Knight, and then next turn, depending on what they have, we have Embercleave and Frostbite if we need it, so... feels like we're definitely going to need it. Now they do get some value out of this, but... Four, seven, eight. Put you to 4. Okay, well, you're gonna have to have something pretty good here, boss. Not to say you couldn't have something game-changing here, but... It's at 4, and he has 6 open mana. Robber of the Rich. I didn't even see what that said. So they get to take an extra turn. Which is less than ideal, but fine. So if we actually hadn't played Robber, they probably wouldn't have gotten out of that turn. We probably would have won. No blocks. Hopefully they're not taking another turn. Ugin the Spirit Dragon, huh?
Accept a lesser world, and you will go lost to history. Silence.
So I didn't know that card existed, but now that I do, knowing that we played a card actually allowed them to beat us this game is interesting.
Consider this a warning.
Wow, not a bad follow-up. Not bad for leftovers. Yeah, this one's over. We're drawing too many lands here. Okay. So that was an interesting card. We want Rolling Vortex. We want Ox. We want Phoenix. Don't think we care about Frostbite. We'll play 3 Embercleave here. Fireblade Charger seems like our worst 1-drop, and we'll cut a Rimrock Knight in case they have interaction of some kind. We'll leave in the one Akroan War, the Akroan War that's in the main in case they slam a Gargaroth, so we can take it. We didn't really see any other creatures from them that game, so this hand's good. We'll keep this. Okay, our opponent's on 6. We're gonna lead on Fervent Champion. Annex is a pretty good draw. Play Hall Monitor. Get in for 2. Run out Annex. Okay. That is less than fortunate, but that's okay. I always forget that there's a sensor in this format. So we're going to attack for 6 here. Actually, we're going to attack for 7. I wasn't even considering that. That's pretty solid. Fervent Champion pumps the Faceless Haven, which is pretty solid. Migration Path, okay. See the Saw It Coming or the Take Extra Turn card. And it's the Take Extra Turns card. Alright, let's go. Okay. On the draw. On the draw, let's try it like that. Cut the Crow in War, bring in the Fireblade Charger, have an extra 1-drop. Because we really want to make sure that we're curving against this deck. Well, we have an extremely aggressive hand, which normally I would love, but our only land is a Faceless Haven. Our opponent also mulligans, which is good for us. This hand's really good. We're going to keep this and put a mountain back. Scry's one to the bottom. Luckily, I looked up and noticed that. Or not Robber of the Rich, see if they have that counter spell. I'd rather keep my Rolling Vortex, yay, than the Robber of the Rich there, I think. Think it'll be more important in the long run. Scry to the bottom again, okay. And they foretell a card. We play Vortex, say go. We're playing a turn behind, but we are... Oh, so that was definitely the take an extra turn card, which I think when you foretell costs 6. So we're playing a turn behind, but we're also allowing ourselves to leave up Roiling Vortex, which I really like personally. I know the Temple's pretty good. Scry another one to the bottom. Okay. 3 cards in their hand. Go to 5. Then you go to 2 off of this. And then if you don't have a way to take an extra turn and beat the Vortex, you just out of the Vortex on your next turn, which is awesome. I think they're realizing that they don't have a way to do both. Is Phoenix of Ash still good? I like that card. Yeah, it's really good. I play one on the main and one on the side. It really helps, like, I mean, it just, like, really helps, like, fill the curve, and it also really helps, like, with, as being, like, a sticky threat that comes back. So if they have a bounce spell here, they're technically not dead. Okay. So they're going to bounce this to my hand. Then they're going to go to 1. The good thing about Vortex being on the field is that even when they're like, even if they start taking a bunch of turns, like they're just dead. Because Vortex will kill them. Alright, cool. QQ, QQ, QQ. Well. Well, 4-0 with the old mono red deck tonight. That's not a bad run. Pretty good, all things considered. So, I keep going back to my point that 24 lands seems like a lot. But, I don't know, it's working. Like, I don't really know what I would add even if I cut a land. Like, if you cut a land, like, you can't add anything crazy. Like, and I don't really want another Frostbite or a Fireblade Charger because they just feel like it just feels like, I don't know, like, the 4th Frostbite seems like overkill. The 2nd Fireblade Charger seems like too many 1-drops in a deck like this. You don't want another Crow in War. I don't really feel like you want another Torbran. You could play another Phoenix of Ash. I guess that's something you could actually talk me into playing. Doesn't the land math allow for like 3 castles? So you could play more castles, but the problem with playing more castles is then you don't have ways to turn on Faceless Haven, and Faceless Haven can only be turned on with Snowlands. So that's why you're only playing 1 castle. But yeah, we went 4-0 tonight. We had a pretty good run. But that was Magic for the night. We're gonna take a 5 or 10 minute break here. When we come back, we're gonna play Rocket League. It's been a couple days, so hopefully it's not terrible. If you're here for Magic, I appreciate it, and if you're here for Rocket League or you just like Rocket League, stick around. Be right back.